Terminating your ownership of Croft Manor, you are required to immediately vacate and surrender possession of said manor to Atlas de Mornay, executor of estates.
Lara, it is unfortunate that you have forced my hand in this matter, but so be it. As you know, your parents appointed me executor of the estate in the event of their absence. Since your mother disappeared, her death was never technically declared. And given the circumstances surrounding your father's death, it's no surprise that he never drafted a formal last will and testament to account for this circumstance. Unfortunately, you have no legal claims to the estate. I'm willing to negotiate a modest monthly stipend from your trust, but only if you leave the manor by week's end. Don't fight me on this, Lara. Your mother wouldn't want that. Sincerely, Atlas.
There has to be a will or some kind of evidence of what happened to Mum in the manor, somewhere. Dad's safe. Needs a combination. It's got to be in Dad's papers somewhere. Maybe in the library. Dad's map of the forgotten cities of northern Syria. He was closer than he knew to finding the Prophet's tomb.
I finally introduced Richard to the family. It went precisely how I imagined. I see but polite grace from mother, indifference and disinterest from father, and thinly veiled contempt from Atlas. Of course they don't approve. To them, Lord Croft is the man who took away their beloved daughter and ruined her long-standing engagement, though I was never going to marry that repugnant Earl of Farringdon anyway. One might think they would be happy that I was being courted by a genuine lord of the realm. It just happens to be Richard Croft. In their eyes, the man who single-handedly ruined a once great family. But there's nothing to be done now. Watching how Richard dealt with their subtle insults and disrespect.
It must have been hard for Mum to go against her family's wishes. I'm glad she did. This is probably my grandfather Benjamin. A picture with Dad and Anna. Never liked wearing dresses, but the color was nice. Dad would have liked me to go to Oxford, but I insisted on UCL. Yep, looks real. My birthday crown. I was so proud of that thing. That's my handwriting. My penmanship was pretty good.
Well, this is a hell of a thing. I met someone tonight quite unexpectedly. But it shouldn't have been, it seems. I've been so buried in my work, so distracted by my latest revelations, I never bothered to notice my surroundings. But there she was, sitting at my table in the library. Her name is Amelia, and apparently she's been studying right next to me. Art history, of all things. I shared some of my research against my better judgment, but I wanted to see how she would respond, and she did not disappoint. I felt as if I was suddenly engaged in a mental game of chess, moving and counter-moving in argument. At one point, that poor old librarian had to shush.
My parents made a good team, challenging each other from the start. Need a combination for this lock. The door to the library. Locked. There's got to be another way through. Dad's artifacts from the Nile Valley. I always loved looking at these. Dad became interested in immortality myths after his expeditions to Egypt.
Hi, Dad. I've been thinking about Mum lately. I wish I knew more about her. How did you meet? What was she like? Winston told me that she was a brilliant artist. Are some of her paintings locked up in the West Wing?
Well, hello there, Sir Lancelot. Don't worry, you won't be boring your sword this time. The Grand Hall. Always loved playing in here as a kid. This will be one of the first things to fix. A phoenix figurine. I bet this appealed to Dad's idea of immortality, of rising from the ashes and being born.
Lara, you know the West Wing is off limits.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to see...
Need a key to open this.
What are you doing sitting there on the floor, Mistress Lara?
The offer came in the post last week, and I still haven't told Richard. He flew ahead to Tibet, where I will meet him shortly. I never told him I was submitting my work. Never thought there was a chance of being accepted. Oh, but a gallery tour is not something I can pass up. The show will take me away from England for over a year. I'll begin in New York and travel across the United States and... oh, God! I'm giddy even writing these words. When Richard and I were married, I was prepared to relegate my painting to a hobby. But it was Richard who objected, who gave me my atelier and studio. Without that support, I might still be painting boring landscapes. Now I can't shake the foolish sensation that leaving would be...
Looking at the compass, thinking.
What about, if I may inquire?
Just thinking about discovering faraway places, about finding adventure.
Got to remember to pack this for my next trip. Hey, Jonah. Sorry for not getting back to you sooner. I've decided to do some research at the manor. A lot has happened, and I need some time to think about what I want to do next. This old place is filled with memories and secrets. Uncle Atlas has tried to keep me out of here for so long I don't even know if I want to keep it. But after everything that's happened, maybe I can find out. Should be able to explore the dark now. Not sure. I really need to brush up on my ancestors. One of Dad's immortality artifacts. I think Roth bought this for him from a trader in Greece.
I'm sure you will, my lady. You've the soul of an explorer. But don't grow up too fast.
Was Mum's in here?
Just stay out of there, darling.
Dad was always so protective of the West Wing. This is the map I made for my first expedition with Dad. It shows a path to the library through the servants' passages. Wait, I can get to the library through the old servants' corridor. Falling apart. Maybe I should just let my uncle have this place.
They say a good test of a relationship is how well you travel together. Well, I'd say Amelia and I have passed that test with flying colours. Indeed, these last few months in Egypt have been nothing short of extraordinary. She and Roth get on like old uni chums. In fact, the two have spent more than a few nights drinking and playing cards into the wee hours. Despite her decidedly proper upbringing, Amelia's taken to roughing it more than I ever have. She fits in and connects with the local populace with such amazing empathy. Because of her, I've had a bit of an unexpected breakthrough in my research. She managed to convince an artifact dealer in Old Town to sell me a magnificent and quite unusual Tibetan scroll. From what I can tell, it seems...
I'm not surprised he asked her to marry him as soon as he got the idea.
Amelia, I know we have had our differences in recent years. I've tried my best to keep an open mind about your relationship with Richard, but I just can't let you go on this ill-conceived expedition without saying my piece. You say Richard's theories have merit. You say that he may have actually stumbled upon some mythic, unknown truth, but I have seen nothing to support such claims. And while your word may have been enough in times past, I cannot let you squander away what remains of your name and reputation, and that of our family, truth be told, on some damned foolish crusade. I intend to go to Richard's in...
Still just as creepy as I remember.
My lord, I hope this missive finds you on a successful expedition and in good health. Before I bore you with estate affairs, I wanted to let you know that our little angel has been into some mischief. As always, I indulged her in our usual game of chess. Over the course of the game, she broached the subject of her mother. She's having trouble remembering her now, and wanted to enter her ladyship's atelier, which you sealed off, to play on her mother's piano. It enraged her when she wasn't allowed to go in, of course. For someone so young, she has such strong emotions. Later in the day, she set a trap for me in the walk-in freezer, of all places. And before I knew what was happening...
Poor Winston. I remember being so angry. He was always so patient with me.
King to Queen 1. I'm going to win this time, Winston.
Clever girl. But you should know by now, winning
I would play chess with our old butler Winston on this board. Never could beat him. I always chose white. Maybe if I let him go first once in a while, I might have won.
everything. Queen to king's bishop 6.
Check.
Easy for you to say. You always win. Knight takes queen.
I'm at a crossroads now. Good lord, that's such a cliché. But there's truth in it. 2 roads before me. Both present joy and compromise. A life with Richard, adventure, intellectual pursuit, perhaps a new family. But also a man obsessed with something I cannot understand. Or a life of obligation, upholding the de Mornay name, embrace...
Everything is almost ready for Mistress Lara's birthday expedition surprise. It's been a bit of an all-hands-on-deck effort organizing the affair and keeping it secret. She's obsessed with Egypt, memorizing hieroglyphs and ancient Egyptian districts, so she'll be delighted with what Lord Croft has...
Dad loved a good bottle of wine. I can still smell his favorite Bordeaux.
Dad, this is it. The basement of despair.
Indeed, Lara. Muster your courage, for this is the only path to the Library of Infinite Knowledge.
Look there. See the string?
An ancient Egyptian tripwire. The Keepers of Knowledge want none to disturb their treasures. We must tread carefully.
Let me lead. I know how to spot all the traps.
I'm sure you do, my darling. Lead on.
One of the wire traps Winston made for my birthday expedition. Winston used my hair ribbons to make this. He and Dad put a lot of work into this birth. Water damage from the main hall above. Plans for adding electricity to the manor. Dad used to say his granny hated all the bright lights. There's a missing page.
Amelia left tonight. She packed her suitcase and walked right out of here, and I didn't even notice. Like those days in the Oxford Library before we even met. I just had my nose in a book, lost in my own world. I am such a fool. I have let my obsession with this damned ritual of long life rule my better judgment for far too long, and it may already be too late. How could I have not seen this?
Okay, Dad's ledger has to be in here somewhere. Hopefully it has the combination to the safe.
For God's sake, memorize the combination, you fool. Lara's expedition treasure. My favorite painting by Amelia. The day of our wedding anniversary.
Okay, got to find those objects to figure out the combination to the safe. Dad's lighter. I don't remember him ever using it, though. The Croft family crest and initials PC. I wonder if this belonged to my grandfather. Okay, should be able to light the fireplace now.
I've created a clever little map for Lara's birthday expedition. I used the invisible ink Amelia picked up for me in Morocco so many years ago. At the time, I remember being so annoyed by that rather aggressive street vendor, but she just smiled in her sunny way and paid him without a second thought. I assumed it was just a tourist scam, but it actually works. Turns out it requires a very specific kind of vellum and a heat source to illuminate the ink after it's...
I always accepted that Richard's rather unorthodox research was just something I had to live with. But this time, the thrill of discovery has taken hold of me. I never imagined I could be drawn in this way. Richard cabled to tell me he's found the monastery. The symbol we deciphered in the scroll was the key to its location. I don't know if I honestly believe that this will lead to the fabled elixir of life, but I can't help but feel that a great secret awaits us there. My brother was threatening to shut down the expedition, but I managed to talk him down for the time being. Now I am
This music is familiar. It's beautiful. It appears Sir Reginald's helmet fell off. Or didn't I put it back properly?
I've reached the monastery. As Roth predicted, it was hidden deep in the Himalayas, and now that I'm standing on these high stone walls, I am overwhelmed by the sheer beauty of the mountains that surround me. It is simply breathtaking. But what adds to their spiritual majesty is the truth of this place. The monks welcomed me, as is their way, but they seemed to expect me. They must have known...
Dad was looking for an elixir. Was it the elixir of life? One of Winston's notes. He always hid sweets for me to find. I remember this now. Each district in ancient Egypt had a symbol and a number. I always preferred these symbols to the actual...
Now, let me see. These two myths are referencing the same source material. But where did I see this image?
Took quite a tumble off this old thing when I was a girl. Still feel it in the shoulder from time to time. I think I stashed one of Winston's master keys in here when I was a kid. Blank, except for the image of a key. I remember this map now. It leads to the master key. We made it with a special kind of invisible ink. It could only be seen with the heat of a fire.
Dad, I think it's this one, in the chapter on Egyptian districts.
Why, yes, I think you're right, Lara.
I remember the page with the illustration of Ra.
My goodness.
This was always one of my favorite books in this library. I used to trace hieroglyphs.
You've been paying attention, haven't you? This could be an important breakthrough.
Does this mean I'm your research assistant?
That and more, my darling girl.
Takes me back. Those were good times. The best times. This picture was taken in the library. 1820 additions to the main hall in progress. I can see the map. Looks like the key is hidden under a trunk near the bookcase. X marks the spot, as they say. The master key. This should get me into the West Wing. Alright, this should open most rooms in the manor, including the forbidden West Wing. The Pharaoh's crown from my birthday treasure hunt. How old was I again? 6? 8? I think this hard. Okay, Dad's clues mention Mum's paintings and their anniversary. Hopefully I can find some answers in the West Wing. Need to search the rest of the manor for the clues to the combination. The Croft family crest. Worse than I thought. This is strangely beautiful.
With Amelia gone, the manor is a different place. A dimness pervades, a quiet I can't stand. Even though Lara is too young to understand what has happened, she also senses the change. She's asked after her mother only once, and I'm afraid my reaction must have terrified her. I will need Winston more than ever these next few months to help look after her. I never quite realized how much grief can consume a man, but I am utterly...
I believe it took this trip to push me over the edge. I've been able to see Richard in his element, seeing him at his best and his worst. I've experienced the purity and chaos of his passion, and I came to realize I want his passion in my life every day. So it's done. Richard wanted to wait another 4 days until my birthday, but I wouldn't have it. Once I make a decision, I prefer to get on with it. So we found a small chapel in Luxor that was just right. And with Roth and the others at our side...
I am bursting with pride. Amelia is with child. It is amazing how everything in life can change with such a simple event. Obviously, we don't know the gender, but already we've discussed possible names. Perhaps Benjamin, after my grandfather? Or maybe Griffin. He was more infamous a croft than even me. No, Amelia wouldn't have it. Besides, she's certain it's a girl. She favours a classic such as Scarlet or Kate, though I've made some headway with Lara. A subtle nod to the sun god Ra, and our days in Egypt, where certainly this child was conceived. I find myself thinking about this new life we've created, of how much she might...
Dad may have discovered the secret to immortality without even knowing it.
Amelia would not have approved. That alone should have been the end of it. But I am, as God made me, a stubborn fool. I locked all the West Wing's doors, and I shall not open them again until either my life or my obstinacy comes to an end. The night before, Roth told me I would someday change my mind. Like a broken arm cast in plaster.
At least that old thing still works.
After
I
everything...
think this was Dad's pocket watch. Looks like it stopped precisely at midnight.
This has done. How could you tell him about the expedition?
This is Dad. I suppose it's a family tradition, but I can't imagine.
It's just all been too much. I needed to talk.
My mother's perfume. The smell. So familiar. I can almost remember.
Someone. He's still my brother.
I remember this. Dad gave it to Mum on her birthday. October 13th. Mum... pretty sure my parents were married in October. I think it was close to her birthday. Mum, on her wedding day, she looks so beautiful. There's a date, October something. Damn, the number is faded. Their anniversary was in October. Which day? I can't believe I don't know this. There's got to be another clue somewhere. Mum's wedding ring. I always wondered what happened to it. The inscription is faded. Mum's atelier. Dad sealed it soon after she died. He probably couldn't bear the idea of removing any of her belongings.
My lord, we all hope your work was well received at the conference and look forward to your return. As is so often the case with these missives, I wanted to call your attention to an incident involving our little angel. It seems that Lara has been the subject of some ridicule amongst the other girls at school. From what I can gather, some of the other young ladies were teasing her for being too much of a tomboy.
Untouched for years, exactly as she left it. Mum's paintings. Which one was Dad's favorite?
I stood up to my family's criticism, stood in defence of Richard and our love. But as my new life began in Croft Manor, doubt set in. How could love flourish in these cavernous halls and endless passageways? Had I made a terrible mistake? I have never been more delighted to be wrong. Richard welcomed me to the manor, my new home, with a game. It was a clue, written in jumbled words from 5 different languages. You've almost got it, darling. Here, let me show you. Like this, see? Well done, Lara. Well done.
I wonder how my life would have been different had she lived. Mum with me as a baby. I've never seen this. Hard to believe I was ever that small. I don't have any memory of this. I wish I could remember doing this. Mum died too young.
I returned home this afternoon to collect the last of my paintings. I suppose I should say I returned to my family's home. Atlas was there, in one of his foul moods, and even as he dripped venom for Richard with his cruel barbs, I could only laugh. To think that I once listened to my bitter brother in matters of my own happiness. My dismissal only served to infuriate.
Okay, back to the study to open that safe. I'm glad I still have so much of Mum's work.
Dad, what do you keep in there?
Nothing too important, Lara. Estate business and such.
If it's not important, then why bother putting it in a safe?
I should know better than to try and pull one over on you. There is something important in here. And it's for you, should you need it someday.
Well, let's hope you came through for me, Dad. No, that's not it. No, that didn't work. Mum, on her wedding day, she looks so beautiful. I remember this. Dad gave it to Mum on her birthday. The answer has to be in the clues. Okay, found all the clues. Let's see if I can figure this out. No, that's not not it. No, that didn't work. The answer has to be in the clues. No, that's not it. That worked. It makes me happy to know that Dad kept this safe. No, that's not what I'm looking for.
I am numb. It is taking all my willpower to hold back the overwhelming grief. Amelia's plane crashed in the mountains. She died alone in the snow, waiting for me to find her. Oh God, not her, not now. I cannot accept it. Life without her is too painful to imagine. I know what must be done, and I am resolved. I'm going to bring her back.
Dad, what did you do? Dad's sequel to his first book on immortality. He never got a chance to publish it. Handwritten. This is the only copy. Damn, this isn't it either. I was certain there had to be a will in here. Wait, what's that? A blank page. Dad must have left this for me. It has to be important. Dad's book about immortality myths might be useful in my research. One of Dad's Yoruba masks, a gift from a friend he met on an expedition. This is my handiwork. I used to love drawing Spent so many hours in here, reading, dreaming of my own adventures. A hidden message. What are these strange marks? They have to be some kind of clue.